What's up? My name is Graham. I go by Spirit Beats, and today we're gonna go over how to make some hard hitting drums. This is gonna be like I'm thinking like a Travis Scott, uh, yeah, Travis Scott type beat really. If this is just like aggressively hard hitting drum, it's gonna be over like an ambient melody, but this is what we're working with here. So yeah, that's that. We're not gonna go over the melody right now. I'm just gonna go over what I did with the drums. And honestly, there's not much that's really special about these. Surprisingly, it's just a bunch of layering and drum selection. That's one thing you need to take away from like hard hitting drums is literally like drum selection is key, or at least knowing how to edit the drums so that it sounds like it carries an aesthetic with it. The reason why I feel like these drums hit so hard is because they all are like it's just full of a bunch of dry sounds that like complement each other. So we'll go over like the simple stuff, which is just like I have a hi-hat that just goes off regularly, and then to complement that hi-hat I reversed it, and that just brings it into like the next bar. So that comes like every like before every like beginning of the next two bars basically. Snare is the same, simple one, and then drum that stays pretty consistent. The one thing I can tell you about the drums, not the drum, the kick. So I use the drill kick for this actually. And one thing I do with drums, here's like not drums for kicks. The most important thing I'd say for kicks is space, is understanding how to space them. So usually what I do for when I'm making like kick patterns, especially for trap stuff, is I try to make the beginning hits spaced, but it's still appearing. So it's like, oh, it's here. And then as soon as the second part of that four bars I start saying, like after on the third bar and the fourth bar start, that's when the drum begins to get more crazy. So as you can see, like look here, it's like it's pretty like aired out, spaced, and then right before the third one, bum bum bum, but I still leave space. This is where I get busy in the middle and I leave space in the end so that it flows back into the first one. There's not too many things going on, and I still like there's still drum rolls, like kick rolls, which is this. And also hint for these is mess with velocity, of course, and that helps the beginning of the third one to hit harder because it's like da da da. But yeah, I'm running on, but that's that. And this is like a little effect I put in that I just was like that I just said to fade stereo. So if I pull that up, let me show you how to fade stereo real quick. So this is another drill effect. Drill beats slap, like drill drums hard. But fade stereo basically means that it just goes around, like it fades from I'd say the left pan to your right pan. So yeah, I don't know if you can hear that through the recording, but it does that. And then the most important thing that glues all this together, because this is what it sounds without the hi-hat. See, simple, spaced out, everything like that. But the hi-hats are different though. So and it's not even that hard really. It's a combination of that and some straight hi-hats, and that is basically to just fill the space, because if you hear it without the straight hi-hat, it sounds good, but with like the instrumental it sounds empty. But when I add this, it still adds a little something there, right? But let's go into the hi-hat. So the main thing about this is I want it to be like different with my drums, right? But really all it is just triplets, not even. So 1 2 3 1 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 da 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 da, and then be very different with the experiment with the rolls and things like that. So if I highlight these rolls, you'll see that of course I mess with the velocity of them just so they hit different, because compare that to, let me take one and just spam it, like just spam it. So these are the same velocity. Compare that to, it feels a lot different. So definitely mess with that, and mess with pan, because that's definitely what I did there. So you can see all of the actually all of the hi-hats are panned out, because this isn't the main one. It's something to accentuate the straight ones. This is like something to build upon. So that's also another tip you can have for making ones, is like, don't be afraid to layer different hi-hats, because there's these ones that are straight and it's a lot of space in between them, but when I go over to the second one, like it's literally like this is reversed. Yeah, and panned out. And that's just to accentuate. Like when I say accentuate, it's like all your drums should be building off of each other when you're making high drums. Like when you're making drums, period, they should all be building off of each other. They should also be connected, you know? So when I play that with the open hat, see, it blends in. And then this one leads right back into it. And the hi-hat that I did for straight, see, now why I call it straight hi-hat is because it just continues to go, right? There's no space in between it. It's something to keep the momentum of the song going. Like all of this helps to like create different, like, you know, jabs and pockets within the drums and things like that, because that's really important, is understanding the different pockets within the melody and the song that you have or that you want to create. But this helps us keep it consistent so that it feels like there's no like you know, it's not like you're going for the punch and then you're like taking a break and going for the punch again. Like now you're gonna keep on going. So it's all about staying consistent, really. But the only thing is that where the accents are, as you can see, I made sure that this hi-hat matched it. So see, and as soon as it stops, so it matches, this matches the accent hi-hat, so it doesn't feel completely different from it. But as soon as it's done, it goes back to the ta 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 ta. So it's almost like I'm giving you the works, then I'm still working you, but like I'm taking a break, then going back. You know, think about it as like wrestling. Ooh, yeah, that's good. So basically, yeah, so that's what I'm gonna use. That's exactly the what do you call it? The metaphor I'm gonna use. That might just end up being like the thumbnail or something like that. This will hopefully be a quick video. But as you can see, all that come together with all those little things. So see, it gives, you get still with all of the things going on in there. It's like you can still feel the space on it. So an artist definitely feels like, okay, I still have room to breathe and still have space to run. Even with the Travis Scott thing, it's just kind of like you can go in and be like, oh, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait, you know. And like with those type of flows and things like that, just having little pockets of silence, not silence, but like little pockets of breath and little pockets where everything is like crazy and hectic, complements the artist's flow. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you want the whole song needs to be filled, you know, and whether that's the voice or the instrumental itself. And that's why with R&B beats and things like that, the drums are very simplistic, because the vocalist wants to fill the whole beat with just their vocals. Whereas with these type of trap things, it's more of effect driven. There's not much lyrics happening. It's more of like, you know, it's either like the artist blends in with the type of drums that they have in terms of like being quick with it and being like, you know, like those type of things, or they're floating along with it, So, you know, it's either they're becoming one with the beat or they're like complementing it in a way. And that's why you want those little like pockets, like right there, or just like even like in the midst of the there's still like a bit of silence there, you know, a little bit of breath where they can breathe and input a little like ad lib or you know, something. It's all about understanding how the artist that you're making it for is going to go over these type of things. And to go over the 808, I'm gonna be quick. Like, and that's just something to flow with. And you know, one thing I give for my 808s is that always make a melody that complements the 808. Like, there's different types of 808s you can make, and I can definitely do another video on that, but I'm gonna cut this one short. But basically, the ones that I went for in this one was like something that like complements the melody, since it's such a simple beat in a way, because all it is the hard drums and then this melody, and it's just the effects that make it seem different, you know what I mean? But really, in reality, it's really simplistic. There's not much going on within it. So the 808 is just something to give it a little bit of contrast. But yeah, I'm gonna play the full beat. Well, actually, yeah, I'm gonna play the full beat, so you guys can get a feel of what's going on, and then yeah, see you guys later.